All right, so I want to do something a little differently today. I want you all to rise from your chairs. That's right, stand up if you're able. Wow, this is awesome. Now, I want y'all to sit on the floor. I'm kidding. You don't have to sit on the floor. But you know what? Thank you. You guys can return to your seats. Thank you. Thank you to my two supporters. Thank you so much. But if you were homeless, that floor would be your bed. It would be your living room, your dining room, and your bathroom. You would have no privacy or personal security. The people around you, whom you don't know, will become your family, your confidants by default. Imagine this, waking up after a restless night, hungry and unclean, heading to work. You spend 9 hours in the unrelenting Florida sun working a construction job. You don't take a lunch break. Why? Because you don't have a lunch. This is what life is like for many homeless community members. After you've clocked out for the day, you return to the place you call home. A piece of cardboard worn from repeated use as a bed, one blanket, some snacks your comrades collected for you while you were away, and a backpack full of dirty clothes that you'll use as a pillow tonight. This is what life is like for many homeless community members, and also one homeless community member. His name is Kenny. He has a full-time job making $10 an hour, but it's not enough. He can't rent a home, purchase food, and provide transportation on his income. So he sleeps on the streets. He eats at local churches and whatever Good Samaritans give him. His life is hard. Kenny only has 2 outfits. One he wears until he can no longer stand his own smell, and then he rotates them. His life is hard, yet he manages to smile and thank God for the little he does have. Abject poverty, ostracism, and agony. This is a community begging for help, begging to be seen and heard. This is homelessness in America. Yet today begins their journey back home. Homelessness, by definition, is having no home or permanent place of residence. There are more than 500,000 homeless individuals in America, at least those we can account for. Every year, there is a point-in-time count, the PIT count. The PIT count is conducted annually to count the number of homeless individuals in America. But because of the archaic method of hand calculating every unhoused individual, the numbers aren't entirely accurate. The United States is the country with the 10th highest population of homeless community members. And, for us, we don't see that. We don't. But Japan, the country with the lowest homeless population, has a total of 0.004% homeless community members. And there are a few reasons for this. According to Professor Gill of Meiji Gakuin University in Japan, the reduced numbers are because of the low number of combat war veterans, not so easy access to street drugs, and comprehensive mental health care are all factors in the reduced number of homeless community members. Helsinki, a city in Finland, reported no homeless community members in 2019. Since 2009, their Housing First approach to ending homelessness, accompanied by comprehensive health care, essentially eradicated homelessness. Finland believes that housing is a human right, not a privilege. In America, homelessness is treated as an out-of-sight, out-of-mind issue. And only when the issue is in plain sight do we want to deal with it, tackle it, or combat it. And that's wrong. We must name it. We must name them because they are our family. They are our friends and they are our neighbors. And their stories matter. The reason they may be homeless could be a personal issue like failing health, lost employment, death, or some other major financial loss. It could be a systemic issue like lack of affordable housing, racial discrimination in education, healthcare, or aging out of the foster care system that keeps them within homelessness. It contributes to their homelessness. Without knowing the root cause or the type of homelessness they're experiencing, we cannot indeed rectify it. Crime, poverty, and homelessness are all results of a problem. Crime plus poverty equals homelessness, and homelessness plus poverty equals crime. No matter how you arrange the equation, the factors will never equal anything more unless the factors are changed. So I'm thinking the different types of homelessness. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of the different types of homelessness, but homelessness in America varies. There's chronic, episodic, transitional, and hidden homelessness. You remember that guy in college who was always moving from place to place, crashing on everyone's couch because he didn't have a place of his own? Well, he was homeless. That's hidden homelessness. An individual experiencing hidden homelessness may not even be aware that they are homeless. Episodic homelessness looks a lot different. Like the lady you see on the same street corner every day for a week. And then she disappears, only to return after a month's hiatus. A more common type of homelessness is transitional homelessness. And individuals experiencing transitional homelessness usually seeks out assistance or shelter, fairly quickly after becoming homeless. A chronically homeless individual is often imagined as the older gentleman who has occupied the same location over an extended period, usually a year or more. So I'm asked repeatedly, why won't an individual end their own homelessness? By getting a job. To this, my answer is simple. Having a job doesn't eliminate an individual's homelessness. Barriers like not making a livable wage, lack of physical, mental, and emotional support, and lack of comprehensive health care are what keeps people's lives aggrieved. Yes, having a job or some form of financial security is a piece to the pursuit of happiness. However, other factors and elements contribute to our well-being in life. Another phrase I often hear, I donate money to organizations, so why aren't they solving the problem? To this, my answer is a little more complex. Many organizations serving the homeless population bring in millions of dollars per year and not solving the issue. Why? Because their mission may not be to eradicate homelessness, but to provide meals, health care, temporary shelter, and other support services to individuals experiencing homelessness. And so that, to me, so many people are they're just not understanding. There's so many questions, and organizations are bringing in all of this money. But we've got to think about it. The more an organization collects, the more money they're going to have to divvy out for employees' payrolls, support services, maintenance, marketing, and physical locations. By the time the funds trickle down to help the homeless individual directly, there just aren't many resources left. They are doing what they can. Unfortunately, it's not enough to end homelessness. But Marla, they have the same opportunities as me. They choose not to take advantage. This isn't wholly true. Many individuals born into poverty will likely stay there, just as those born wealthy. The scarcity of new opportunities available to those with a previous criminal background, less than stellar academic accolades, or unconditional support is preposterous. They need support. Finding their way into a stable home is usually an uphill battle, and many cannot climb alone. They need support, tangible support that supplies for their needs when they cannot. Support that empowers them to conquer their fears, and support that lifts them up every time they've fallen. My approach to ending homelessness, it isn't new. It's a strategy that, if followed precisely, will use fewer resources and have a greater probability of ending an individual's homelessness. We need to identify, assess, house, enhance, and support homeless community members as they make their journeys back home and beyond. We've learned about and should employ Maslow's hierarchy of needs when creating plans to provide for homeless individuals. Because let's face it, if their physiological needs aren't fulfilled, your expectations of academic or professional accomplishment will not be either. So what now? Well, I can't do this alone. This mission requires all of us, everywhere, to mobilize within our communities. To end homelessness, we must address the main issue, the absence of a human right: housing. We must rehumanize homeless community members. They are us in other circumstances. We can do that by not turning a blind eye to the issues they face. Be informed about laws that criminalize homelessness and advocate for a safe place within your communities for them. Normalize speaking to them in passing, having small talk, and complimenting them. Not one of us can end homelessness, but all of us can. You can volunteer at local organizations serving the homeless population. You can donate to grassroots organizations serving underserved communities. And you can attend City Hall meetings when issues of homelessness are being raised. Not one of us can end homelessness, but all of us can. I can come before you today as an advocate for those people, because once in my life, I too was one of those people. At the age of 18, I was homeless, without a voice, without support, and without a safe place to call home. My life has been an uphill ascent, but a fulfilling quest nonetheless. Our paths may be different, but they can all lead somewhere glorious: home. Let's help our friends on their journeys back home. Thank you.